Yeah, peace to the world, right? It's my thoughts on the Kwame Brown shit. I just want to say this on one point that, I hear a lot of these people, a few, YouTubers, Facebookers, journalists, you know, some of them, I done heard like 2 or 3 people say, yeah, he was aggressive. Son, where was the aggression? I didn't see no aggression in his demeanor, in the way he, conveyed, his wisdom, which is his words. He just spoke. Finally. He said something after 20 years. Nobody knew his character. Nobody knew his personality, especially not the fans. People that played on teams with him, and shit like that, came across his personality. But as you can see by the shit he putting out, they didn't really communicate. Like, they wasn't boys, like they wasn't homies. They was fucking co-workers, colleagues in a sense, in the basketball league. On the same team from different walks of life. You understand what I'm saying? And they all judged that man based off that one, situation in his life when he became the #1 draft pick as a high schooler, coming out of high school. They wrapped his whole life up into a box based off that. And they critiqued him, they criticized him, the whole time. Where was the praise for him being a high school kid, a 17-year-old kid to make it to the NBA and achieve the #1 draft pick? Where was the praise for that? Just that alone. Fuck even getting into the league and playing for 13 years, regardless of where you was at in the spectrum of a professional basketball player. You know how many people don't make it to the league? You know how many, there's millions of people that went to college and made it through 4 years of college and was extremely good and still didn't make it to the fucking NBA. And he made it to the NBA at 17 years old. And nobody never praised that. I'm not even a motherfucking, exclusive basketball fan. I ain't, Kobe Bryant is my favorite player of all time. In my mind, he better than Jordan. You know what I mean? Now, that might throw y'all for a loop. Y'all might call me crazy on all kind of ways. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me. I'm a fan of his. I love the way he played the game. You know what I mean? That shit is all opinion. You know what I mean? When it comes to who's the best, who's the GOAT, and all that shit, because it's different goals for different people. You know what I mean? Everybody got their preference and what they like and what excites them when they watching sports. And certain players excite them. You got somebody out here in the world that'll say fucking Chris Dudley is their best and favorite basketball player. For all who know who the fuck that nigga was. But back to the foundation. Where was the aggression in Kwame Brown's expression? To all of you people out there that feel that way, that he was aggressive, for the couple of YouTube bloggers and Facebookers that use that term when applied to, his videos, I did not see one form of aggression. I seen a man speaking his mind. And he spoke very well and articulate and clear with a lot of comedic relief. He said what needed to be said based off his situation and based off what he went through and how he was dealt with by motherfuckers who was in the same arena with him. It was like he was playing possum on them niggas. Just sitting back. Just adjusting his scope. While these niggas just, doing what they doing, thinking that Wasn't nobody focusing on him. But the motherfucking, the prey became the predator in their situation. Cause them niggas is predators. All these motherfuckers out there in the world, you know, that demonize the character of the black man, them niggas is predators. But what they fail to realize is the black man is the ultimate predator, mentally and physically. And since we speaking about sports, we can use that as an example. Yeah, they was the predators in that shit. They owned it all. They had it all. They dominated. They only let motherfucking certain people win. But what they fail to realize the whole time, you know, yeah, we kicking out the door. And motherfuckers kicked the door off the hinges and went up in the marinas and motherfucking showed and proved who's the apex predator. Look at Jordan, apex predator. Allen Iverson, apex predator. Kobe Bryant, apex predator. Now when you look at the NBA and you look at the best NBA players of all time and you go down a list like the top 50, you might, you know, you got a few motherfuckers that'll put Larry Bird up there, you got Jerry West and shit like that, but when you go through the motherfucking black people, they names fall down on the motherfucking list. Yeah. Quite extensively. Yeah. They take a deep dive. There's a whole lot of black motherfuckers that rise above that shit. Apex predators. And this ain't a black and white thing. You know, although, you know, the system of sports is definitely, you know, a black and white thing. I'm just talking about this one particular issue with, you know, Kwame Brown and the people he spoke to, because he spoke directly to black people and Skip Bayless, because he liked to, you know, give his opinion. You know, he liked to bust shots, you know, on some secretive shit, like, you know, he the one with the gun in his pocket and shoot through his pocket. And act like he looking for the motherfucker who actually shot the gun. You know what I mean? He probably was the motherfucker in the grassy knoll. You know what I mean? But yeah, those are my thoughts on the Kwame situation, man. Like, yo, understand this, man. Stop all the exaggerated characterizations of black people. And that's saying it nicely. And this is to all the media. This is coming from me. I'm a nobody. Y'all can see that. I'm just me, Roy One, Celestial Intelligence, CI Law. You know what I'm saying? Kid from the projects in Hoboken. You know what I mean? Nobody, but that's just my C on it. You know, I ain't with nobody saying nothing bad about the black man, woman, or child. On no level. They need to stop all of the motherfucking blaxploitation on TV and these sitcoms, all that shit. All these niggas, you know. And I ain't mad. You want to dress like you want to dress, like all weird and crazy. Do that shit right. I don't give a fuck about none of that. But don't try to group all black men or put the, you know, the perception like on the media, on TV and movies and all this shit into like two categories. Gangsters, homos, which is gay people, no disrespect. I come from an era where those are the terminologies we use. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? You know, and if a motherfucker is black and intelligent and is you know, successful on TV, you know, in a sitcom or anything, this nigga done left all black reality alone. Motherfuckers get lighter, you know. And the few shows that had dark-skinned black people on them, you know what I'm saying? in the end, you see how they get treated. Look at the black lady in the motherfucking Will Smith show. How he did her. Come on, man. That niggas need to stop, man. But Kwame, salute to you. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see no aggression in anything you said. I just did the knowledge to your wisdom. I didn't take sides. You know, it just so happened I agreed with, 99.9% of the shit you said, like a DNA test, like. You know what I mean? Damn, let me see this.